So tomorrow it begins. Tomorrow morning, Robyn and I will leave and we'll go and I'll get my first chemo treatment and my first radiation treatment. It's going to take about 4 hours, something like that, probably, maybe more. I think of the surgeries I've had in the past. In 2003, we did the Nissan fundoplasty, which is supposed to be laparoscopic. Well, a 2.5 to 3 hour surgery turned into a 7-hour surgery, and they had to cut me open from stem to stern. Which wasn't real pleasant. The 2006 surgery for the sigmoidectomy, that did go as planned, as it turned out, that really it wasn't necessary. But you don't know that until you do it. So that's the reason the surgery happened anyhow. But in 2010, when I had the mesh put in, I was hoping for just a hernia surgery, repair the worst ones, leave the little ones that weren't causing any real problems. But when he got in there, he found 7 major hernias, and he counted 17 hernias the size of his thumb, and he hadn't even started counting. And he decided that the only real way to do it is put the mesh in, which that really kind of altered life. But I was able to lift after that, so that's good. It's like when I had the port put in, nothing went according to plan there. Veins that he thought he'd be able to get, they weren't where they were supposed to be. And he fished around for them, and that's what caused the bruising, which wasn't his fault. It was just something about the way my body's put together. It's a little different. So I am kind of solemn, but I'm not depressed. The way I've coped with all this stuff in my life is I think it through. I think of all the possibilities, and I prepare myself mentally for them so that I don't get depressed. And so I don't get too excited about these kind of things. I've thought of all the possible outcomes. What I believe will actually happen is my health and the way I feel will deteriorate over the next 6 weeks of the chemo and radiation treatments. I'm going to experience some significant pain from the burning in my esophagus from the radiation treatment, and I'll deal with nausea from the chemo. To start off with, it won't be too bad, but as it builds one upon the other every time I go in, which I get chemo 1 day a week and radiation treatment 5 days a week. So it's not going to be fun. I know that, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as what some people have had to endure, because they caught my cancer at a fairly early stage. So I'm not going to get the biggest doses of chemotherapy, and they're just looking at an area about this big that they're going to be hitting with the radiation treatment. Of course, everything in the path of that radiation treatment is going to get burned, so we'll see what that's like. But the thing of it is the chemo and radiation treatment, that's only half of it. And I would say it's closer to about a quarter of it. 3/4 of it is going to be the surgery and getting over that. So I will have a 3 to 4 weeks between the radiation and chemo and the surgery. But the surgery is going to be a tough one. And again, it's, you know, I think back on how, well, like he couldn't find the vein here, so he's gonna find that there's a lot of stuff in my abdominal cavity that's gonna be different. And there's challenges. I've got that chunk of mesh, and they're gonna, I think they'll have to cut in through the mesh, but we'll see. We'll see how all that goes. I just kind of wanted to touch base and give you an honest, an honest look at what I go through before I start these treatments. And then you can, you know, if you end up, or a loved one ends up doing this kind of stuff, you'll kind of have an idea what's going to be like. So I'm ready to get it started because I'm confident that it's going to be a positive end, and I'm pretty sure that at the end of the 6 weeks, I'll probably change my mind on whether it's positive or not. We'll find out. We'll see if I can remain positive through the whole thing. Regardless how I feel, it's still going to happen. So there you go. So, well, thanks. I hope this helps somebody out there. Please, you know, if you got questions, we're happy to answer questions. Thanks for watching.